BMW claims that the new Z4 has at last become a proper driver's car, a full-on red-blooded sports car that's sharp enough, they say, to rival the mighty Porsche Boxster. Unlike the previous Z4, which BMW now admits was a car you'd only ever really want to drive on a sunny Sunday afternoon. We'll have to wait a few more months yet to find out fully if they're telling the truth or not, but for the time being, this drive of an early prototype Z40 at BMW's own Autodrome de Miramas in the south of France should give us a very good clue. In a nutshell then, is the new prototype Z4 any good to drive or not? And has it become a proper sports car, as BMW claims?
And the answer basically is somewhere between good and very good indeed. I mean, these are still, well, they're not really early prototypes. This car still doesn't go on sale until March next year. And there are certain things that BMW know that they can still tweak, particularly the diff, the machinations of the diff, and the ultimate delicacy of the steering feel. But as this car is right now, it's pretty spot on, I have to admit. Whatever you thought about the previous Z4, forget that completely. BMW make no bones whatsoever about the fact that this Z4 is a proper sports car. It kind of feels like it should have an M badge on it, except it's got lovely compliance to it. I've just driven an M2 around this track in the south of France just to get used to the track itself before having a go in the Z4 prototype, and I reckon it's as quick as the M2. It might even be a bit quicker, but it's a lot softer in its responses, and yet with stacks and stacks of control. And that's basically, well, for several reasons. One, the car itself is really nice and stiff, both overall and locally at each of the 4 suspension points. Two, it's got this adaptive damping system, which is just, it's such a trick to be able to have up your sleeve, and it allows BMW's chassis engineers to create a car that's fundamentally really nicely controlled, but also which has this lovely ride quality to it. Okay, you don't want a ride quality on a track like this. You want nice sharp responses, good steering feel, good turning, good brake feel, etc, etc. And the new Z4 has got all of that in this, guys. I'm just going to turn the DSC off, because only once you've switched it all off can you really get the full benefit and fully understand just how nice the chassis is, because it will move around and it'll let you do the skids, the sideways stuff, but because it's got this lovely balance to it, it never feels like it really wants to get away from you. I'm so impressed with this car at this stage. I mean, that's 4th gear, you know, and you can take quite amazing liberties with it, and it comes back. I mean, that's just delightful. It really is delightful.
The new Z4 weighs 50 kilograms less than before, thanks partly to its new canvas roof, which is lighter, but also because of a committed weight-saving regime, both above and beneath its new skin. Its boot is also around 20% bigger than before, roof up or down, and this top-spec Z40i model will get adaptive dampers and BMW's new electronically controlled diff as standard. It'll cost just under 40 grand when it goes on sale in March, and will eventually be joined by a range of less powerful versions, plus an M-badged version in the fullness of time, all except the M version using the same 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox as the Z40.
The engine we know all about. It's the 3-litre twin turbo. It's got 340 horsepower. It's very similar to an M240 engine, but they've tweaked it a little bit, and the gearbox software is a lot more aggressive. It's really sharp in the top mode. It's the same old ZF 8-speed, but with a few software tweaks, they've just really sharpened up its act. But it's the handling predominantly that we're here at this track to assess, and the handling is just so flipping sweet. Feels like a proper old school, involving, fun BMW. At last, you don't have to have an M badge on your BMW to really, really enjoy it. And it's quick too. They're not giving official performance figures yet, but it is definitely under 5 to 60. 155 miles an hour flat out. But it's not about performance, it's not about the straight line performance of the Z4, it's all about the handling. I wish I could show you the way it looks as well, because they've just shown us an undisguised car. It looks cool, it looks aggressive, it looks properly, not mad, but when you see it, which you will in a few weeks' time, you will be quite pleasantly surprised by just how aggressive and sporty it feels.
And on this evidence, the new Z4 really will take the game to the Porsche Boxster, which has consistently pinched sales from the Z4 over the last few years. Hence BMW's desire to make the new version much sharper to drive and, as you'll find out soon enough, much more aggressive to look at as well.